Simon Sephton is a well-renowned photographer who's been specialising in capturing the patterns, colours and interplay of life and light in water for almost 2 decades now. He developed his passion during his school days and landed his first job at 17 as a darkroom assistant at the Star. He soon developed a passion for water photography, and his pictures set out to raise awareness of the beauty of this scarce resource rather than the horrors of drought. Following up from the success of Waterlight 2015 and 2016, photographer Simon presents a breathtaking range of 35 new pictures in his exhibition Waterlight 2017, which will be from the 6th to the 21st of December at the Forge in Kalk Bay. This morning, Simon Sephton joins us from our Sea Point studio. Simon, it's so great to have you on the programme. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much, Leanne. It's good to be here. Thank you.
So this Waterlight exhibition, I mean, just reading your introduction, it sounds so fascinating to have a passion for something like this. How did it all start for you? What made you become so interested in it?
Well, water was something that I developed an interest in about 15 years ago, and I suppose it was an accident, really. I walk a lot on the mountains in Cape Town, where I live. And it was the early days of digital photography, and I acquired a digital camera and came home one day and was just completely blown away by the images that I was capturing of some of the fresh water on the top of Table Mountain. And it's developed from there. It's become an obsession, really, photographing water here and all over the world.
Oh, that's beautiful, and your photography, so it takes you all over the world that you're looking at the water and the light. So it's not just local.
The pictures that I am exhibiting in Kalk Bay are in fact just local. When I say local, they're South African. I do have a lot of images from the Eastern Cape as well as the Western Cape. About half and half, I think.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, we're looking at them now on the screen. I'm not sure if you can see them, but you know your work very, very well. Are there certain times of days that you have to capture that specific light and the water? And I mean, because you do get the most fascinating colours out of water that I suppose, you know, normal people wouldn't really see, but you as a photographer, you're looking out for that.
I think I've tried to develop an eye for that because what really caught me by surprise the first time I became aware of the sorts of effects one got from photographing water was how much the camera saw that I hadn't seen. And so from that time on, I started looking for particular elements and trying to find a way of seeing in the way that the camera can see. And as to time of day, I'm often asked that question, but the truth is that if I'm hiking to the top of Table Mountain, it often takes me 4 or 5 hours to get to where I want to photograph. And so very often the photographs are taken at around midday rather than at the golden hour. But also a lot of those cliffs up there where the streams do run are in shade for most of the day, and so midday is not a bad time to be there in any event. When I photograph in the Eastern Cape, I do so on the farm where I grew up and where my mother still lives and my brother farms. And I have a little more control then as to when I'm going to get to the water that I'm going to photograph.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful to see, and I imagine that every single year when you're putting an exhibition together, you're looking for different themes and trying to portray different messages. Am I wrong in saying this, or is this what you do?
I think that what I look for is some kind of development in my work rather than necessarily for a different theme. It really is just about exploring all the many, many variable dimensions of water. And it's very different photographing water, for instance, here in the Western Cape as opposed to the Eastern Cape, because the water is coloured here by the fynbos roots. And so when it's very shallow, it's a pale yellow, and then it gets to a rooibos colour, and then a deep sort of Coca-Cola colour, and then it gets to pitch black when it's deep. And so you have the layers that are offered by the colours of the water as well as the reflections, whereas in the Eastern Cape it tends to be very clear. And so one just looks for development on an annual basis rather than necessarily a completely different theme. But it really does play into the drought theme at the moment, because I think we in Cape Town are all completely bombarded by 87 litres a day and dam levels on a weekly basis, and messages that are coming through that are entirely utilitarian and statistically driven. And we need to find a new way of looking at water, and we need to actually appreciate its beauty rather than simply see it as a diminishing resource running out of a tap.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the people who come and see the show can actually see water in a new light, and that will aid in our awareness of water as a very, very scarce resource.
Yeah, unbelievable. I think it's a very fascinating exhibition. So again, just to tell our viewers, it's on the 6th to the 21st of December at the Forge in Kalk Bay. It couldn't have come at a better time, to be honest with you, as we see what's happening in the Western Cape with water. And this is a beautiful way of perhaps making people fall in love with it even more, just to look at it. Thank you so much, and good luck with the exhibition. Let's take